Listen, there's a lot of stuff out there that confuses me. Where to even start with lead solo guitar playing, why I can't ever seem to finish an entire can of sparkling water, and really countless other things. But today I'm going to talk about what you might want to do to start playing lead stuff and kind of just some little tips that you can do, because I've been jamming with my guy Davidas. If you've never seen his channel, I'm going to link you below. But he plays a 3-note per string pattern, and it really kind of opened up my eyes to an entirely different way of seeing the fretboard. So we're actually working on a class together, but this is just something I wanted to kind of do just to share maybe a different way to look at how to solo over a chord. We're really just going to start with one chord, E minor. So we're going to do just something with the E minor scale. Now traditionally you might be like, okay, well maybe I can take like the E minor pentatonic scale. Something like that. But really when you want to start incorporating more lead stuff, I think it helps to just do things in a different part of the neck. So I'm rocking out the Ernie Ball St Vincent today. And basically when you think of E minor, I think one cool thing that you could do that's really easy, you could do just right now, is seeing it backwards from a 3-note per string shape, okay? So what I mean by that is we have E minor, the chord, just open E, to A, to D, open the rest of the way. And then if we think of a higher E note, like the 12th fret on the high E string, we can work backwards through this symmetrical shape where it's 12, 10, 8, 12, 10, 8. And now you'll see that I'm using my ring, my middle, and my pointer, ring, middle, pointer. If you want to use your pinky, that's fine, but I want to connect this chord with this totally symmetrical shape. It's just 8, 10, 12, 8, 10, 12. You could do it with one finger if you want, but I think the important thing is just to see this shape, and then maybe if you want to, add the root note again, which is just the 9th fret on the G string. So again, we have our root note, but we're working backwards to this. Now this is going to be inside of a bigger scale shape if you want to look at it this way, but I really think that the value from this is really lending itself towards like a lead solo type feel, because a lot of times when you're playing over a certain chord, you're not going to start a solo on that note. In fact, the highest note being an E is a good way to maybe think of phrasing. Phrasing is just kind of like how you choose the notes and where you put them and you're leading up to something. So I think a cool way to jump into a solo is maybe start on a note that is in that chord, in that triad. E minor is just 3 different notes, a G, a B, and an E, any single order. The cool thing about having the 12th fret, the root note, be on top of the shape, we can lead ourselves into it. So if you're playing something open, there's a couple different things that you can do right there, right? So again, really work on just this shape, forward and backwards, and then just kind of see it in your mind's eye, right? Like just see like this here, and then just see little markers that you'll always be able to remember, and then really maybe just start branching off from there. Once you have those 6 notes down, just start with the root note again, which again is the 9th fret of the G string, so that's just a cool little kind of thing that you can start to use to work on your phrasing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to play an E minor chord, and I'm going to kind of dynamically play instead of just like E, 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 something like that. Maybe like a root 5 strum. So open E to A, then a strum, and then get into the shape. Right? Something like that. And then think of where you're ending the phrase, because again, phrasing I think is the most important thing to differentiate your solo playing from sounding like you're just playing a scale, because again, it really does all come down to scales and like how you see the fretboard and how you choose your notes. And then once you have that, it's like kind of where you end your phrases really makes a big impact. So we'll talk about the 3 different spots of the notes in the triad, right? So we said an E, a G, and a B. So if we start here, that's our E. So we could end it here on the G string, 9th fret. Then right here, if we look at the notes on the B string, 8, 10, 12. If we go backwards, we have a B, an A, and a G. So if we think of 2 places that we can end a phrase that ends up landing on one of the notes in that triad, we have the 12th fret on the B string, which is a B, or the 8th fret, right, which is a G. So G, A, B. So let's just kind of start working on maybe like a small phrase, you can do this, cut this up however you want, but I want to land on each of these notes and hear how that sounds phrasing-wise differently. So E minor. Right? Every landing spot has its own kind of feel. And then if we really extend that to the next high E string, the 12th fret on the E string is an E, so this is our root note. We can actually lead something there to kind of end our phrase there on that high E string. The 10th fret is a D, and then the 8th fret is a C. So these two notes are actually not in the chord, so if we end the phrase on there, it'll be like an extension. See how that it sounds really different. Now, maybe if you have a bigger chord progression, you can see these as landing spots. They maybe work a little bit better. Like we have like a E minor to G. Like something like that. I'm just really kind of tacking notes onto that G. And that 10th fret is a note in the triad of a G, a B, and a D. So maybe something like that is going to work a little better over a G chord. And again, better is all relative. It's really just however you want to slice this up, right? E minor. Again, you can see those same exact notes over different chords in the key of E minor or the key of G major, the people's key. And then you can really combine those with different things. Again, a lot of the videos that I've done on lead playing have to do with pentatonics, right? So the E minor pentatonic scale is actually really just the next position up. So that's kind of like, you know, a hybrid way of thinking, where it's like 3 notes per string into a pentatonic thing, right? And again, that's what has been really cool jamming with Davidas, and what this class is eventually going to be about, coming out pretty soon here, where we're really combining 2 different ways of thought to kind of really just, you know, help you expand the fretboard and get kind of like a cornerstone hold of somewhere to start any kind of lead playing thing. E minor into the pentatonic, into the 3 note per string. So again, that's really kind of 2 worlds of thinking. None of them is really superior to the other. It's just however you want to organize it in your mind's eye to see, okay, these are the notes that I have, and these are the notes that I have. 2 different ways of just playing 6 notes in a scale. 3 notes across 2 strings. 6 notes across 3 strings, right? So however you want to do that, and then, you know, you can even double stop. This is just kind of combining those. Right there, you can do something like that over E minor. To another chord. So there's really, you know, nothing is holding you back, only your own creativity. So again, I really think no matter what key you're in, like let's say you're doing something in B minor, all you do is you find a B on the high E string, happens to be the 7th fret. That's why it really pays off to learn the names of the root notes, even if it's just on the E string. So if we think of the 7th fret as being our B, and then we do this, 7, 5, 3, 7, 5, 3, right there. That's kind of symmetrical shape. Now this is a bigger reach for sure. You don't have to play with these fingers, but it's really just kind of seeing it. And then you'll know that that pentatonic shape sits right underneath this. So it's really a great way to kind of connect these different shapes together, okay? So, again, I've never really been a practicing player when it comes to 3 notes per string, but I really think I'm going to start because it really kind of unlocks a lot of different shapes that I think really just lend itself to guitar playing in general. So let me know what you guys think. If you have any kind of experience using one method versus the other, but I don't really even like to think of them as different methods. I just think of them as like different tools to kind of organize things and then really just use it to your own creativity and keep rocking it out. So thanks for checking it out. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comment section, Instagram, Twitter, or the website. I'll talk to you all soon. Thanks.